Have you ever had those games where you try your best to land one hit on your opponent but can't seem to reach? Or you hate the fact that you're having to chase your opponent down the stage time after time again? That's right, your opponent is successfully using a concept strategy called the neutral game. You're in luck, because in this video we're going to break down what the neutral game is, the elements that goes into it, and how to incorporate this into your gameplay. Welcome to my video on why learning the neutral game is important. What is going on, guys? My name is Mad Dog Games, and I'm here to explain to you what the neutral game is, how it works, and why it's important for you to learn, as well as the many applications it has. Well, neutral is a state where both players neither have the advantage or disadvantage over the other. While in this state, both players will try to use their movements, projectiles, and pokes to land that first hit. Whoever does land that first hit, that is when the game will change from the neutral state to the punish state. To make it easier, we can break this down into 3 phases. The first one is neutral. We all know what neutral is now. It's the long spacing between you and your opponent. Followed by advantage. This is when you are in a favorable position, allowing you to follow up with multiple attacks and combos. Last one is disadvantage. This is when you are in unfavorable position from being hit, allowing your opponent to combo you, pressure you, or punish you. In theory, if someone were to play the neutral game perfectly, they would be able to avoid their opponent's attacks and control the pace of the fight. However, in every online match, nothing goes in the way that you wanted it to, and all characters on the roster have different types of playstyles that they're effective with. Some are better at close range, others at mid-range, and some at far range. Understanding your character's game plan will help you play neutral correctly. Although I can't cover every single option in the neutral state in one video, we'll go ahead and cover the basic fundamentals. The first one is movement, one essential part for playing neutral. This is when you move forward or backwards, backdash or forward dash during the fight to assess the situation and then start your engagement. The goal for constantly moving is to bait your opponent's attacks and find an opportunity to whiff punish to start your punish game. Depending on the game you're playing, take note that movement works slightly differently. Like in Tekken 7, you have what is called the Korean backdash. It's pretty much an advanced mechanic allowing you to cancel your dash multiple times to move backwards pretty quickly. Moving backwards is normally slow in this game, but this gives the player a new way to move around and play defensively. In Street Fighter V, it is more simplified, but you'll see this still as a common game plan too. It is essential to move forward and backwards to play Footsies. And then in Mortal Kombat 11, it gets a little bit more difficult because you can get away with so much. The mechanics are more complex here because we have lows, mids, highs, overhead attacks, unblockables, hovering, running, teleporting, traps, and much more. But movement is still a thing here. We have wave dashing, an advanced mechanic where you can also move around quickly and play defensively. But like I mentioned earlier, the whole point is to move around as much as you can to find an opening. You can either wait for your opponent during neutral for them to whiff something, use it during knockdowns to punish their wake-ups, or use it to keep the pressure going against your opponent. Let us move on to the second essential part for playing neutral, and that is jump-ins. When you're in neutral, your next option will be to jump in on your opponent to start your offense. This is sometimes very recommended as a strategy in fighting games because this not only adds damage to your combos but pressure to your setups as well. This can also be a great punish tool when you're avoiding your opponent's projectiles. However, relying on it too much is very risky in all fighting games, as jumping can be punished with an uppercut or anti-air. Although jump kicks in particular in Mortal Kombat 11 does leave you safe or plus on block, which is why many still use it here. Some characters further benefit from these jump-ins, like Kung Lao, a character that has a dive kick. He can jump backwards, forwards, and then dive in to mix you up. The next essential one is neutral jumps. Similar to jump-ins, it can be another option that you can use to avoid your opponent's attacks while coming in with a counter. I'll use Street Fighter V as an example because in this game, neutral jumps are highly used and recommended here. It's best done in situations like wake-ups or when your opponent wants to commit to an attack. Notice here my opponent uses his far-reaching attack at the first round because it worked. and I took that into account for the next round and then neutral jump to punish it. In MK11, this can be applied as well, and what is awesome is that some characters like Katana or Jackie can use neutral jump ins with their special attacks for more offensive pressure. The next essential one is zoning. Believe it or not, zoning can be much more than just spamming. There are mind games involved. When you throw projectiles in neutral, you are pressuring your opponent to do the following things. If they decide to jump over these projectiles, you can punish them with an uppercut or anti-air. If they were to duck them or take the hit on block, the game will stall a little longer and it's all about life lead at that point. If they were to teleport, you can potentially bait it out to punish. The goal now is to space your opponent out and make them impatient, revealing more mistakes that they will make that you can take advantage of. Sometimes you wonder why some opponents continue to throw projectiles in the form of spamming, and it's simple. It's a low effort strategy that can be highly effective. They will only stop if you're able to get in and punish them. But to do that, it goes back to knowing your fundamentals like spacing, timing, and buttons that you must execute perfectly. Now, let us talk about the most important approach in fighting games, and that is Footsies. Footsies is a concept where both players trade pokes based on distance in the hope to find an opportunity to whiff punish their opponent's attacks and then start their offense. When utilizing the footsie strategy, it is important to find your character's best footsie tool. So what makes an attack a great footsie tool? Well, it all boils down to, number 1, safe on block and low risk, meaning that you are first playing safe by using a quick attack and not fully committing to anything yet, because you don't want to leave yourself open. Number 2, attacks based on distance. Depending on the situation, there is a proper attack for each range. Knowing which tools and attacks for close, medium, and far range distance will help you make your gameplay become more effective. Number 3, easy to hit confirm, meaning that it's easy for you to fully commit to an attack once you see the first hit land on your opponent. This will improve your punish game tremendously because you of course want to maximize each opportunity you find. Number 4, matchups. Depending on the character's matchups, your footsie game will change, so knowing your opponent's strengths and weaknesses and what types of tools they have will help you learn how to approach them. These are just some of the things to look for what makes a great footsie tool. But at the end of the day, the most important thing to get out of neutral is the punish game. To be great at the punish game, it is best to first know how the neutral game works. It is something that cannot exist without the other because neutral is the beginning stage while the punish game is the end result. A lot of players, and especially beginner players, tend to forget this first phase exists and skip it entirely. And I get it, it surely is not exciting and interesting compared to the punish game. But without having the perfect balance of offense and defense, you're limiting yourself on the opportunities you'll find during the match. And that, my friend, is the neutral game in fighting games. I hope this convinced you to start learning and utilizing this strategy. Please like this video if you guys enjoyed it. The more people liking this video, the more YouTube will recommend others to watch. Become a channel member by pressing the join button. You will receive some nice perks like these new emotes I got, as well as early access to my videos. Anyone is welcome to my Discord. Link will be in the description. We are currently at 39,000 subscribers. Help me with my journey reaching at my goal at 50k subscribers. I really want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.